coaching in black college, if you're there too long, you can kind of get stuck, and then the perception of how others see black college football
Mm.
as in the coaching world is brutal, man. They say they still remember back in the day with Cadillac Records and the primarily black record labels, right? They just call it the Chitlin circuit,
Chitlin circuit.
yeah.
Can be beautiful if you let it.
In the bowl.
Yo, 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 what do you know? Welcome to In the Bowl podcast. I'm your host, Nas.
It's your guy, Tall Man, live from Dubai.
And as always, In the Bowl podcast is sponsored by your nation's own #1 mobile hookah provider, Sisha to You. They not only do private events, they do wholesale distribution and take your experience to the next level. What is happening?
What's going on, man? We are back. How you doing?
Hey, I was about to say that we are back. First, let's do a quick little cheer saying, "What's good, good brother?"
Indeed, it's
been a minute since we chatted, and
yes, sir.
We had some good stuff. And as we just told folks, it's always going to be another opinion that we're going to throw out, whether you love, but we back.
Yes, we are, man. So how you been, man? I see we both been on the road. So how have your travels been?
It's been good, man. It's been good. I mean, we've been, we hit the islands, we hit, H-Town. And speaking of H-Town, there's definitely a conversation on that we'll hit in a second. But yeah, man, went down there. Just been chilling, man. Just really been chilling with the family, doing that whole shebang. Enjoying the summer, man. Enjoying the weather. It's hot as shit out here right now.
But you know what? I'm gonna let you talk about the weather this week because I know it's been a lot of heat advisories in the States, so I'm gonna give it to you because usually I'm the one who's talking about the heat, but we're about 6, 7, 8 weeks into it now, so I'm gonna stay quiet this week and I'm gonna let you all have the heat humidity shine, man.
That humidity's so thick, though. That humidity don't make no sense. That humidity's crazy, man. Like, because you don't ever know. Like, again, we experiencing tornadoes, 1 second it'd be sunny, double rainbows, and all of a sudden it just, 90 degrees, then it pours again. You kind of, you gotta keep a change of clothes in the car.
That's wild, man. I did see it, so it's been raining a lot because I was joking. We have a guy in town, and I was telling him, I was like, man, I don't think I've seen rain I haven't seen rain here probably since maybe mid-May, give or take, because we did a little traveling as well. We went out to Nairobi to Kenya. So took a trip out to East Africa, and that was cool because the weather was like a 50-degree difference. Because right now in Kenya, they're right there by the equator, so it's wintertime there. So their high was like 70 degrees, but it averaged out to be about maybe 65 degrees a day. But that was cool. Got to do safari, so got to see a couple of the big five. Saw some rhinos, saw some lions just walking down the street, giraffes. That was wild to see a giraffe. A lion, like I would say maybe 5 feet from you. Just walking down the street, not even paying any attention to you, man. So
that's dope.
Yeah, that was definitely different than the Maasai tribe. We went down and spent the day with them. One of the famous tribes in Tanzania and Kenya. And they're known for their high jumping dance, so they called your boy out, man. So I had to, dust off the sambas, man, and stretch out the knees. And
I was about to say, man, your knees make it, man. You was all right?
Hey, man, I even if there were any issues, man, I couldn't let it show. I had folks out there who were, with us, on the visit, and I had to, put on my game face, and I had to do it big, man.
Well, I'm glad you didn't have those Crocs on, dog. I'm glad you didn't have the Crocs.
No, honestly, man, if I would have wore my Adidas Crocs, just to be clear here, they probably would have been destroyed, man. So when I tell you we were out in the bush, man, we were out in the bush, so
That's the way to
man, the
do it.
shoes, huh?
That's the way to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You
definitely.
when you go somewhere, you want to go up in the culture. Like that's what you want to do. You want to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, get cultured. You know what I'm saying? You want to learn about history. You want to learn about, where we come from. You want to know when you're there. You got to take it.
No, man, I agree, and that's something we're trying to do with every trip, because we're not the type to just stay on the resort. We like to go outside the fence. You find somebody local, who can take you around, because that is the key thing, having someone local. You don't just venture out by yourselves, because there was this market that we saw on YouTube that we wanted to hit up, and our Sherpa was like, "Yeah, man, if you go in that market within 5 minutes, you won't have any shades, you won't have your phone, you won't have a hat. You might not even have shoes on your feet, and we'll all be separated."
Mm.
And was like, "Yeah, that's some pretty good information, but that's what they don't tell you on YouTube, So it's always key to have somebody local who can tell you kind of the do's, the don'ts, and
Yeah.
can kind of help you move around, man. But all in all, it was a good trip, though, man. Definitely enjoyed it. Went out there with some good people, so we had a good week out there.
No, that's definitely what's up. That's definitely what's up. But yeah, man, I think that's what the summer's about, man. And not even the summer, life. Learning where you can, learning what you can, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. So, and like we talk about the learning, I think that's a good segue. When you find your passion, you find who you are. We always talk about that. Can passion and purpose be the same thing? But I think that's a good segue into today's show. Today's a special show. It's a great show, as always.
Indeed.
But I definitely I'm gonna do for this guy here. He started off as a defensive back at Morgan. He graduated from Morgan. Went to coaching high schools, Canadian football. He was on LSU's coaching staff as the coordinator. He's his seventh NFL season and currently defensive back coach with the Vikings. He's a good brother. He's a son. He's a husband. He's my guy, now known as the godfather of the Daronte Jones Bourbon Club. I want to introduce Mr. Daronte Jones, a.k.a. Crow. What's good?
What's up, fellas? What's going on? Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. We appreciate you stepping out through the scheduling, and showing us, who you are. But, as we talk about you real quickly, we talk about you being the godfather of the Bourbon Club.
Speak on it.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't know if that's a green screen in the back or that's that's a library back there, but it looks mighty cool in your background, good brother.
Nah, man. It's tall man kind of inspires me a little bit, when it comes to those things. Now I just I picked it up, being in Cincinnati, really, close to Kentucky, bourbon capital of the world. And then I started, went from like mixing drinks, being like a mixologist and all that kind of stuff to try to really enjoying the true tastes and the palates and all that kind of stuff and the noses of just all types of spirits.
That's great. It's always them folks with them cool ass jobs that have the cool ass hobbies. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to figure out that math. It always just works out, man. That's dope.
Hey, I don't know about that. You know what I mean? I don't know about that, but you guys got your hobbies. You guys got the shisha. Tall man hooked me up a couple years ago, taught me how to do it. So I do have that. I didn't break it out for the, I should have broke it out for the night, but sometimes getting home and just pouring a nice little relaxing glass is okay. Especially, I don't go back to work until July 23rd. So
okay,
got a couple more days on the vacation.
There we go.
Well, I definitely have to say that we are honored that you graced us with your presence, D Jones, because I always tell you,
This guy.
whether it's on the phone or to your face, that that you are my role model. So I am humbled, to have you here with us today, and to be able to just have a nice conversation and allow you to drop some of the gems that you are always known to drop, as well as nice little friendly banter. So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
definitely appreciate that. But I guess to take it back, because Nas did a great intro with running down your resume, and I've had the pleasure of visit you at some of these spots. Didn't make it out to Hawaii, but we'll set up a Hawaii trip another time so you can show me around.
never
But
know.
what inspired you to get into coaching?
Just being around the game, the love of the game. Really be honest with you. Got injured in Morgan, so I didn't have a chance to really finish my career at Morgan. So kind of felt slighted in that way, but it was all part of God's plan with the injury. And my position coach was like, "Hey, why don't you come on out and pretty much help me coach?" You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of one thing led to the next. You're still around the sport, that game that you love, and you develop a passion for it in a different light. One is being on the field, and that's a passion, but then you understand how you have the ability to help others, try to achieve their highest level. And just took off from there. But it was some growing pains though.
When you talk about the growing pains, is it because a lot of people run into those growing pains that are like a wall, right?
Yeah.
You as a leader, and I'm going to get into that a little bit, but you as a leader, but then also getting into your passion, what was that like running into that wall?
It was a couple walls, right? And so, a lot of guys, a lot of young coaches try to say, "Hey, how do I get there? How do I get in? Do you recommend it?" I'm gonna be honest with you, Nas. I don't recommend this thing to anybody.
That's real.
I'm just being honest, because they get into it, or they want to get into. A lot of guys, they see the limelight, they see the NFL, or even Power 5 college football, and they see where the end of the tunnel is, but that's a long, dark tunnel, right? And so when I started talking to them about starting out at GA, which is fine, down in North Carolina. Did not know the business really. So the head coach got fired like right after the season. So now boom, just that quick, you're unemployed. And then I take a job it's funny, I don't even bring this up. Most people don't even know I was there, but North Park University in Chicago. I was living first of all, I was homeless, right? So I had an 88 Prelude. Remember the red Prelude from the college?
Hey, I do.
And so I drove that up to Chicago. I'm in the Prelude. I'm there February of 2002, I think it was. Yeah, February 2002. February in Chicago, the winds, the weather, the snow, and I'm sleeping in my car for like the first 2 or 3 months, and I had to keep the car running just to keep some heat in the car. Crack the window. My aunt had to wake me up every morning. Then I go to work because I couldn't afford to live in Chicago, right? And so you're homeless there. Then I go from there. I go from the car to the pantry. I know tall man know about the pantry. It's like it was so narrow, Nas, that a twin size blow up mattress wouldn't lay flat. That's how narrow the walls were. And so think about it. A twin size blow up mattress had to lay this way, right? And so when you sleep in it actually curves into that V. So and I'm out there, I'm sleeping, I got sweats on, leather coat, because the breeze is still coming in because I'm in the pantry outside the apartment complex. But anyway, long story short, man, that kind of, God blessed me from there. I kind of stuck it out and then went to Louisiana. From Louisiana, came to Bowie. Almost got out of coaching twice. So I got accepted in law school when I was in Louisiana before I got the Bowie State job. And then so I contemplated. It's long story short, I got accepted at LSU in Southern Law, but then I ended up taking the Bowie State job, coming back home for 5 years. It was a struggle. Everybody was like, don't take it, because the struggles of going to, I hate to say it, but playing in black college, coaching in black college, if you're there too long, you can kind of get stuck, and then the perception of how others see black college football, as in the coaching world is brutal, man. They say they still remember back in the day with Cadillac Records and the primarily black record labels, right? They just call it the Chitlin circuit,
Chitlin circuit.
Yeah. So that's what HBCU is in terms of the coaching. And so, but just fighting that, going against that, still saying that, hey, if you go there, you do your thing, you keep your nose down, keep your head down, you grind it out, just try to be the best that you can be at that particular level, that particular spot where you are. You never know. Things may happen. Opportunities can happen. And so 5 years later, I had the opportunity to go to UCLA, homeless again when I go to UCLA, right? So now I'm 30, still trying to make it as a profession. UCLA calls. They say, hey, we got a job for you, but we can't pay you as a full-time. We gotta give you like a scholarship, right? And so you can't survive off $1,000 a month in Los Angeles. I don't care what year it is. Right?
Yeah.
But your cell phone. We had the Nextels back then. That was $200 just off the break, off the cell phone.
Easily.
Off the break, you down $200, right? Yeah. And so anyway, I stayed in my meeting room. So none of the players knew that I was in that role. They thought I was a full-time coach. Slept in my meeting room and just made it work for about 8 to 9 months, and then had the opportunity to go to CFL, like you talked about. Montreal was good. And then after that, the career just kind of jumped off with Hawaii, Wisconsin, and then into the league at Miami, man. But those homeless years, man, and it's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle. Nobody wants to talk about that. And my first year in Hawaii, actually, I slept in my office again for the whole year just to try to recruit funds that was spent from when you were homeless and you're trying to make it. So that whole first year, I slept in the office. So you really talk about, in those early years, technically you're homeless 3 years out of those, altogether. But, God has blessed me to have some opportunities and kind of move forward. So I paint that picture to these young guys because, they feel like if it doesn't happen in 1 or 2 years, it's time to move on, or they're not patient enough to put that time in. And I remember when I was in the pantry, I remember this, and my family, they was like, just come on home, just move on home, move back, give it up. And I remember a veteran coach, matter of fact, his name is Vernon Hargraves. He was a linebackers coach for Miami Hurricanes at the time. His son actually got drafted a couple of years later. But Vernon told me, he said, sometimes you got to pay your dues. Nobody never tell you what those dues are, right? And so a lot of the young guys that are coming up in the profession today, they don't really know what those dues are, and no one tells you what it is, right? It's almost like when you get married and they say for better or for worse. Nobody talks about what that worse could be, but you still got to push through it. So the profession is different. It's difficult, Now I'm fortunate enough to kind of be in, I like to call it one of, some people say one of 32 in the world to coach at the highest level. But I'm one of 12 that have their own DB room, the entire room. So a lot of the other coaches in the other DB coaches in the NFL, it's only 12 of us that are the lead and have the entire room. Everyone else has to split that room up with the safeties and corners coach. So it's really only 2 of us that do that. Wow. So yeah,
that's dope, man. You hit something real quick, man, but you hit something that. Even for me, like it hits to the core, right? You basically said you had an option to go to law school or sleep in the car, you know what I'm saying? Or that was happening, right? Or that was what happened, maybe, potentially. Yep. But not even knowing of what your decision was going to make and what your path was going to look like. What made you just kick that, like just stick through that and not go to law school? Because, law school.
You know what?
People strive for that. People are like, man, I'm trying to get into law. People spend hundreds and thousands and do Kaplan study and do this, that, and the third, and that is like their goal there, right?
But is it their passion?
Damn.
Right? And so yeah, you can do that. And we all grew up with our families telling us, try to find something that you're passionate about. Whereas when you go to work, it's not really work. If you find something that you can do that you would do for free, that's a passion, right? You're doing it because you enjoy it. And I enjoy coaching a 35-year-old in Harrison Smith, just like I enjoy coaching a 9-10-year-old in Little League or Pop Warner, at a camp. And so it's just the pleasures of it. And so, yeah, you could take that law degree. You can go to law school, 9 to 5 or even some other, longer than that, because they do work hard. But have the suit on, but you're going to work and is it fulfilling you, right? I mean, is it what fulfillment are you getting out of it? Are you passionate about it? Yeah, you can make money, right? And I've that's another thing, right? I've been fortunate enough to know that money isn't everything, right? And my times at LSU really hit on that. But you're making this money as a lawyer. You could be a partner of a law firm, but if you're coming home at night and you feel like something's missing, or you feel like you're not having an impact on people's lives, it's part of it, right? Like I don't know many lawyers that would do it for free, right? If they do, they go on public defender, they're like public defender, and it's not about the money.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? And they're doing a lot of pro bono work. They're trying to give back, but and I'm not trying to generalize all lawyers, but I love law. I really do. I like law. I enjoy it. But does it fulfill me? Is it a passion of mine? No. And so my thought process behind that was, let me try football. Let me take this thing as far as I can take it. Law school will always be there. The opportunity, people can go to law school at 30, 35, 40 years old and, start to regenerate or rebuild their career from that point. But an opportunity in football and coaching, you got to seize the moment. And, even though it was Bowie State and it was an opportunity, but, like one of my mentors told me, hey, you got to go there, but your defense got to be one of the best in the nation. You got to do something to stand out from the rest. And we were fortunate to do that in 5 years. We were ranked top 5 we were ranked top 5. Actually, in 5 years, we were ranked number 1, 2, and 3 in the nation in Division II football. So 3 out of 5 years, we were ranked top 3. So, that helped get another opportunity.
And and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I didn't want us to gloss over that that part of Bowie State of where the defense was ranked, because you all really pulled off something special there. So definitely hats off to you for that, because
Appreciate it.
even though I do consider you my role model and my idol, it feels good when you can brag about your boy, be like, hey, look, this is what my man did, so I can pull that card out my pocket every now and then when I'm in sports talk, so definitely didn't want to.
Bowie holds a special place to me. It helped develop who I am as a person, and the character and the coaching personality. I would say Bowie and Louisiana, my time in Louisiana has really groomed me in terms of structure and who I am as my personality when it comes to coaching. Those two places are true to me.
Well, let me ask you this question. So, speaking of, at the collegiate level, so what do you think were, I guess, like 1 or 2 of your biggest challenges at coaching at the collegiate level?
The quality of life is different. So it was, how, the saying, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Before I had the opportunity to go to the NFL, I spent 15 years in college, and I loved college, right? So when one of my mentors, Vance Joseph, called me with the opportunity to come to Miami with him, I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna stay here in college at Wisconsin, because that's all I knew. And I had no aspirations really of coaching in the league, because I enjoyed the recruiting process. I enjoyed the relationships that you were building with these young men and their families. And, these families were trusting you. They were trusting you with their child to help them become a better man, a better son, help them grow so they can become a positive influence in our community, right? And so you're looking at that, and that's what I love most about it, where, I was getting invited to so many of my former players' weddings, because of relationships you build. And so it changed, right? I loved it. I got to the league. The league was totally different, right? It's you get some time off. It's 100% football. There's no class. There's no class checks. There's no study hall. There's no babysitting, right? When you forget, you realize how much babysitting you were doing in college. And so when LSU came back around, the opportunity, I couldn't pass it up. I couldn't pass it up. It was an opportunity to go back to go to LSU. To really be, John Mitchell was the first Black coordinator in the SEC, who's on Pittsburgh Steelers staff. He was the first Black coordinator at LSU. Unfortunately, John Mitchell did not coach the season. He got hired in the spring, from my understanding, and then it was because some issues had to be let go, and then he was brought back, but in a different role. And so technically, in terms of coaching an NFL season, I was LSU's first Black coordinator, and so that opportunity was powerful for me to do that. But when I got there, I realized that this new generation is different, right? It's an entitled generation, and so I'm recruiting guys, and it's not about relationships anymore. It was different. It's about what can you do for me and my family, coach. Now the NIL is really prevalent in the college football, and it's about I'm going to the highest bidder. And, at that time it was legal, or not legal rather, but now it's become more legal. But now you're talking about in terms of, coach, I need this, I need that. And I'm not risking my career for you. But it wasn't about relationships. It became so cold and so business oriented. And I thought that the process of which I once loved is now gone. And so it was different. And then you're looking at these guys, and there's some great athletes coming out. There's some good athletes coming out. They're not great yet, but there's some good athletes coming out. But I remember I'm at LSU, and I'm looking at these top, 5 DBs in the country, and they got talent, and they're asking for things, and they want things. And I'm like, hey, my man, I just coached some Pro Bowlers, and Rashad Jones and Harrison Smith. You ain't those dudes. You know what I mean? So nor have you accomplished what they've accomplished. So, you want these things, and you have not stepped foot on a college campus yet. You're talking about you playing against somebody's little cousins, and they're going to go and work in track, AutoZone, or maybe go to college and be a businessman or somewhere, but they're not professional athletes. So it was a little different. And so it kind of put a black eye to the college game for me a little bit. And just dealing with what was once the relationships that was so genuine, and kids were actually they felt great when they received an offer from you, and they wanted to be at that institution, and they wanted to play for you, and they wanted all those things. And now it just became like, hey, I don't care who I play for, I don't care where I go to, I'm gonna be gone in 2 or 3 years anyway. What's the best business decision for me and my family? So really, if they're going to handle it like free agents, I might as well go back to the play NFL, where we can get who we want in free agency. Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's deep. You say, like, I know the NIL has been real big, right? I know at some point, some folks would say, some folks would say when people make it to the league, it's like they make it, right? And now you're trying to make certain accomplishments, and obviously you establish that you are a top athlete in your profession, right? And so a lot of people sit there and say they loved college because, like you said, they had a passion and they were still striving to get to their goal and to the ultimate dream, right? To actually step field on the NFL field.
Yeah.
Right. And so do you think like the NIL is definitely taking that? Do you think it's taking some of the passion out and is definitely creating that entitlement? And I think you kind of hit that, but
yeah, I think
that kind of started it. I think
the NIL has done a couple of things, in my opinion. I think the NIL is going to eventually, in my personal opinion, I think it's going to eventually destroy or have a negative impact on the camaraderie of a college football team, or just college football, just college sports in general, because what you're starting to see is if you've been playing, let's say Nas, you've been at University of Maryland, for example. I don't know. Well, let's say you're at University of Maryland. You're a rising junior. You're a 2-time starter. you know, you're putting your work in, and now here I come along, I'm the hot shot recruit, right? And now they're giving me 300, 400, 500K a year before I made a play. And you've been making plays for that institution, for that coaching staff for a while. And now I come in, you may have a $50,000 NIL deal. I'm coming in with 500K. And you like, hold up, dude, you ain't even earned this spot yet. You ain't even started. You haven't done anything. You haven't put that work in. And so, you know, it's going to start to, I think eventually it's going to create tension amongst teams, amongst the players in the locker room. And you know how it is when you put money into a situation, right? It's going to create division. You know, why is he getting it and I'm not? Oh, you know what? I'm not getting it. Now I'm gonna transfer out and I'm gonna go somewhere else. And it's just I think it's having a negative impact. And then what happens, the next thing is now you get to the league and you're used to getting this money and you're used to doing things. You're used to everybody kind of like being at your beck and call, and you get to the NFL and it's not like that, right? Because we don't care when you get drafted or how you got to the team. It's the best players got to play. And so now you get this guy who may have been a hot shot in college and he may be getting all these perks and now he's struggling at the next level. And you hit on something. You say, well, once you get to the league, you've reached your goal. And I think a lot of these young players, the issue is once they get to the league or once they've done everything to get that opportunity to go to the NFL, they forgot about what got them there. And they felt like I'm here now, I've arrived, and they forget about the work that has to be put in because, you know, everybody knows NFL means not for long. And so you get run out of there quick, fast, hurry, because as coaches, you know, everything is a week by week, season by season. And, you know, there's no longevity in this business. So.
I can dig it.
Man. Well, now to ask you another question. So, you know, as a DB coach, so what would be your top 3 DBs of all time?
Oh,
who's on your list?
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough because you know, you got corners and safeties. I think everybody is special in their own way. I know growing up, you know, you're a big Deion Sanders fan. You know, Prime has done a great job with what he's doing, you know, with coming into the coaching realm. I wish him nothing but the best at University of Colorado. You know, but I would say Prime is definitely, I think he put the cornerback position on the map in terms of having that mentality, those battles, you know, is different. I would say, oh man, it's so many, right? You got Ronnie Lott. You know, I grew up watching Ronnie Lott. I tried to mimic my game with Ronnie Lott in terms of physicality. You know, I think you got to throw. You know, I'm gonna just throw. You got Ed Reed, you got Troy Polamalu, you got Rod Woodson, you got Charles Woodson, you got Darrell Reeves as of late. You know, there's so many dudes, man, that I think you can put out there. It's tough. It's tough, but I will say I think I've been blessed to coach a couple of the guys I think are future Hall of Famers in terms of the safety position, Rashad Jones and Harrison Smith, Harrison Smith is a phenomenal dude, man. Helping me with my golf game. But and then you know, everybody knows who Patrick Peterson is, and Pat P was phenomenal for us last year in terms of being a leader, a mentor to these young guys. You know, he take care of his body. I think he was the epitome of how a pro should be in terms of the importance of your body. And how you have to manage that week in, week out, day in, day out to just be ready for the next week. And so wish him nothing but the best in Pittsburgh. I know he just got back from Africa. He was out there as well, traveling with the family. But so I think, you know, just being fortunate with those guys. And then the young dude, Xavier Howard, is like my little bro. The list goes on and on. It's a lot of dudes, man. It's a lot of guys out there. You know, Lester Hayes bringing it back with the stickum on his hands. It's so many dudes, man, back there that you can name. It's tough. It's tough.
That's dope. That's dope, man. But like you said, man, it's just your resume speaks for itself, man. You're a true leader, you know, and Definitely
Yes.
been role models to folks. You got some solid role models in your life. It's I appreciate, giving your flowers today, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, we appreciate you just leading people in the right direction and just helping people achieve, their optimal level right there and just guiding that way. So we appreciate you being that role model in people's lives, dude.
Appreciate it.
On the field and off the field, man. You a good dude. This dude right here is a good brother right here.
Exactly.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I just been blessed, man. So, always, even with now that our circle, their kids are coming up and they're going to college and they do different things, and just trying to, if anybody have any questions in terms of, what it takes to get to really college or scholarships or anything like that, of the process and how it works, what coaches are looking for. I think there's a misconception of what coaches really want and what they're looking for. Anytime I can help out, feel free to reach out, whoever, so.
My guy.
But I did have one more question of fact or fiction, because back to our days at the Morgan State University, there was this vicious rumor that one day you walked into the gym and did a workout in a pair of Ferragamos. And I just want to set the record straight, is I think everybody, here has at least one or two pair of Ferragamos. A very comfortable loafer, but did you do a workout in a pair of Ferragamos?
I cannot confirm or deny. But I will say, and I think I know your source, who's a very, that guy, his initials are MC. He's not credible at all. He's not a credible source at all. No, you know what? It wasn't like that. It wasn't intentional. It was, I think we had a presentation in class or something, and after class was over, I had to walk back. I had to get my workout in, and rather than go all the way back, change clothes, and come back, you know how it is, the distance from classrooms to the gym. You had to go through Hill Fieldhouse anyway at the time. And so I figured, you know what, let me just go in, change the shirt. And it was an upper body workout. So it was an upper body workout at that time. So,
but you did it though. So yes.
I cannot remember the shoes that I had on, but it was a workout. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I thank you for your candor and your honesty. Like I said, I just wanted to put that rumor to rest. It's been,
appreciate that.
It's been quite a while since that rumor has been swirling. People in the streets talking, they're in the gyms talking. So I just wanted to just put it on the table once and for all. So we appreciate the candor.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate.
That's funny as shit.
Oh man,
funny.
Oh gosh, man, you guys are crazy.
That's a good one right there.
Man. I always joke around and say that the sun is up, so it's almost time for me to go into the the phone booth.
When you guys coming out to Minnesota for a game, man?
Oh, you already know that text message is loaded, brother. You know what I'm saying? I got that thing is saved in my email drive to be text in a short bit, so you ain't got to worry about that, good brother.
Come on out for a game, man. I got to tell people, you ain't got to worry about the cold weather out here. We play indoors.
Yeah, we in there. We in there, baby. We definitely in there. We definitely.
Yeah, because you came, Nas, you came to Miami, right?
Yes, I did. And as always, my guy showed love. I'm not gonna lie, man. That was one of my early dates too.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I am where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like that was one of the pivotal points that kind of helped. Like, oh, this dude kind of cool. It's not about what you know; it's about who you know. Know that.
Miami was a good time.
That was a great time, good brother.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I got a little more. I got a little more from that trip. So we good.
We hit the little lounge up.
That's it. Hey.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey, so but before we get out of here, so what do you good gentlemen have planned for the upcoming weekend? What's going on?
You about to start? What you about to do, man? Go for the end of your vacation or the?
Oh man, so I just got back to Minneapolis last night, man, and this is I need a week to just kind of decompress and just kind of truly relax and regroup and get my mind right really for the season. I got to be in the office Sunday. We start up on Sunday, so I'm just relaxing, man, just taking it easy. I've been golfing. I got a 3-hour drive tomorrow in Duluth to Duluth, Minnesota. A little golfing trip tomorrow. And that's about it, man. Come on back. I'm going to hit golf Thursday and massage on Thursday evening and relax, man. Just lay low. Watch some movies. Try to open some of these bottles back here.
There you go.
Yeah, to break open the season, to welcome the new season in, and that's it.
That's dope. Definitely heard you slipped in and get in the massage, so I hear you on that, good brother.
Right, man, listen. I'm gonna tell you, as I've gotten older, man, that body you gotta take care of it, man. I get massages, acupunctures, chiropractors on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis, man. It's all about that body. You got to keep that body right.
Oh shit,
that's key. Right.
Yeah, got to. Plus the stress, man. Keep the stress down.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Sure, you get older now. You gotta keep that stress down.
I gotta hit both of y'all good brothers up on the golf day, man. We gotta do a golf trip then, man.
Man, I gotta do the Dubai. I gotta come on out there. I gotta go and explore that land out there, man. That's one of my spots I gotta put on my bucket list.
Hey, I'm always down for a good guy family trip. Let me know what we're doing, man. We out.
Let me know.
Hey, the doors are open, but I will tell you one thing though. Golfing out here in Dubai is different. I think the last time I went out, I haven't gone out yet this month, but when I went out in June, man, we had we tried to get a 7:30 tee time, but we ended up getting a 8:30 tee time at another course because it was 4 of us.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that by hole 6 or hole 7, it already felt like about 118, 120 degrees outside.
Yeah,
so when it got to like down to, the stretch, the tail end of the back 9, I think hole 15, 16, just you could see things starting to drop off, with people's driving and things like that, because the heat was real, man. It took me like a full 2 days to recover. So now, we're trying to do some night golf because they have a lot of night courses out here. So you'll go out, 7:30, right after sundown, and it's still humid because the humidity picks up at night, but you don't have the sun, so you're still sweating, but you're playing golf at night. But it definitely is a different experience. Beautiful courses. It's a great time. It's just the summers are rough. If you golf from October to March, you're getting like 85, 90 degree weather. So it's definitely a lot easier on you. But the summers are real here.
Oh shit! Damn. Yeah, you got that. I'm good. You come back and stay time. We go golfing then, good brother.
Oh man. Well, we can go ahead and wrap this one up, man. It was definitely a good show. Glad that we had the good man D Jones on here. Like we mentioned, he's always going drop some gems, and just hearing his story and how he started off and the things that he went through to perseveres, to get to, where he's at. I mean, it's a true testament of, his character and who he is. So definitely, shout out to him and best of luck in the upcoming season.
Sure.
And as we always say, once again, just want to give a shout out to Shisha, to you, our sponsor. Don't forget you can follow them on IG. You can follow us on Twitter at InTheBowlPod. Don't forget to keep those hookahs clean. After every use, just go ahead and rinse it out. So that way, when you're ready to smoke again, everything is good to go for you. We always say we are highly opinionated individuals, so if we said something that struck a chord with you, definitely hit us up in the comments and, let us know your thoughts. We love the interaction. And until next week, we appreciate y'all.